We are the one, the light in the dark. One heart, one world, one spark. We are the one, together we rise. One dream, one voice, one sky.
I just want to say, Diane,
Welcome to Women Empowered Across the World podcast. And I am Jackie Zaccoli, the designated hostess today, and with my crew of women all over the world that are interested in interviewing and finding out what we can from Diane Hands. And we are all excited to be able to do that. And we hope to have you seeing this on YouTube and to be able to bring the women that you feel need to have their voice heard. So we're going to go ahead, and Diane is going to tell us a little bit about her life and what it is that she's been up to and what she's doing now. Diane, go ahead.
well, I'm a country girl, born and bred in Buckinghamshire, which is quite close to London. I had formal education and I would have loved to have gone to university, but my parents believed that women didn't need to have any qualifications. Bearing in mind, this was quite a few years ago. And you get married, your husband will look after you. So at 18, I married. I have 2 daughters, but unfortunately, my marriage wasn't like my parents' marriage, which was very happy and really a beautiful childhood. And my sister and I are so grateful for that childhood. So I'm on my own with 2 children, one chance to bring them up properly. And so I worked hard. They realized that I couldn't live with their father anymore. So they were supportive of me, and lots of things happened. However, they happened, but it's maybe to the person I am today, even though they weren't very nice. I've had various health issues over the years, but they haven't stopped me from doing. I was part of landmark education, and I actually was doing a degree course online when, unfortunately, I had a stroke that was caused by having to take warfarin because I had open heart surgery. So there was no more degree because I couldn't read very well. I couldn't remember things. There were lots of things that were stacked. So no degree, but being a part of Landmark Worldwide, I went to one of their special evenings with a friend. That was my first visit outside of being in hospital, and it was my first time on my own with a friend who very courageously drove me to London and home again. But whilst I was there, speaking to another friend, and said, well, why don't you join us? We're going to be writing a book about refugees. Really do this? And, yeah, we'll help you. So I participated in writing this book, 9 stories about refugees. Now, mine was completely fictional because I wanted to illustrate that not all refugees are poor and don't have education, because they do. Take Philip Gutman, for example, founder of the Paralympics. He was a Jewish refugee. So I've subsequently been co-author of another 2 books, Hearts on the Rise, Connecting Through Corona, which was written during the time of the coronavirus, and also Unbroken Bonds. But whilst attending Landmark Worldwide, I belong to the Team Management and Leadership Programme. And we were asked to create a project in the community that would benefit the community. So that's where I Have a Voice Too was born. And I Have a Voice Too is a group for adults over the age of 21 to learn drama, singing, and lots of happy things. And it was chosen because our third daughter has what is labelled as special needs and learning difficulties. And from the age of 11, she had attended Stagecoach, which enabled her to learn to dance, sing, act, and she passed all her exams. And she was 1 term off achieving her gold Stagecoach. But she needed to go to college down in the New Forest for 3 years. Okay, you'll be able to get your gold Stagecoach when you come home, we thought. So the first Saturday she was home, off she went with her jazz shoes, absolutely happy. And when she came home, the door slammed and she was in floods of tears. I can't go back. I won't get my gold Stagecoach. I'm too old. And no, it didn't matter how much we begged and pleaded, could she come back? That wasn't going to be a possibility for her. So adults that have learning difficulties and special needs, activities they've done maybe all their lives, once they reach 18, 21, it's all cut off. So they're left a lot of times with nowhere to go. So on this course of team management and leadership, there were actors, directors, and they said, they would help. We promoted what we were going to create in community centres and various places. We managed the local theatre and art centre. And one Saturday afternoon, we had people come, and Alex, who is an actor and director, came, and we had our first session. He then handed over what we'd started to create to 2 of his students, and they came along on Saturday afternoons and taught our little group, which was incredible because they do have a voice. They are members of the community, but people don't want to listen. However, our very first play was called, it was a folk tale, and it was The Mission. A little bit, it was Robin Hood, in a sense. Rob the rich to give to the poor. We were started to create this film. Unfortunately, Ziggy and Maya had to go back to Sweden. So that's been put that, although it's been there for a few years, because acting on a stage and filming are two different forms of acting. So I also, as my husband, had a local magazine, and we'd written a story for Willpower about Sir Ludwig Gutmann. And that all was delivered, and then I had a telephone call and saying, we're the National Paralympic Heritage Trust. Would you like to write a story for us? And then I told Elaine about I Have a Voice Too. And she sort of said, okay, I'll talk to Vicky, our CEO, and she will probably love to come along to one of your afternoon sessions. By this time, we'd moved to another hall. And once the afternoon, she came along with medals, and she even took part in, we were doing Midsummer Night's Dream, and she took part in dancing around like a fairy with scarves, etc. And she asked the group if they would like to help promote the museum that was going to be in the Gutmann Centre, which has been later called the Stadium, in Stoke Mandeville. And they were all enthusiastic. So we went with them, with their pop-up stand, as they called it, and gave out lots of leaflets, introducing the new centre that was going to be the historically telling stories about Dr. Gutmann. And that was going to be in Stoke Mandeville. So one of the things that Vicky and her team said to them and to me, they couldn't believe how the confidence they had, how they would go up to anybody, give them, tell them about what they were doing, what was going to be happening, and giving out all these leaflets. And from then, we have been in partnership with the National Paralympic Heritage Trust. And on the day that the centre was open to the public, because the day before, one of Dr. Gutmann's family formally opened the centre, but then it was open to the public the day after, because Dr. Gutmann wasn't just about his patients. He gave things to the community as well. And we had written Dr. Gutmann's journey from Germany to Stoke Mandeville. And the day that the centre was open to the public, we performed this play 3 times. And one of Dr. Gutmann's patients also gave a talk, and he said that is exactly how it was on the wards with Dr. Gutmann. And he actually rang Vicky up when he was going home and said the play that we had performed was just so impressive, that made the highlight of his day. So whenever the National Paralympic Heritage Trust was promoting their centre, we were there acting out the story. Unfortunately, COVID hit. And that changed everything. We still tried to hold a group via Zoom, but not all our actors had access to Zoom. But afterwards, we came back. A few of our members didn't come back, but others did, and we carried on. And we were then asked to take part with the National Paralympic Heritage Trust in writing a song for the Queen's Jubilee, her Platinum Jubilee. So, with a Paralympian, swimmer, and now singer-songwriter, we wrote a song for the Queen. We had a Saturday morning session when Robin came down, talked to our group, told them how he wrote a song, and he was absolutely amazing. So they brainstormed all the things they thought about the Queen. The fact that she loved corgis, horses, she loved her family, how she'd supported the Paralympic Games over the years, and just things that they loved about Queen Elizabeth II. So Robin went away, wrote the song, came back. Oh, one of our group said that she remembered her mother and father dancing to the waltz. So the song was written in waltz time, which is, I believe, is 2/2 time. So we sang that song all over Buckinghamshire, and it's called Jubilation. It has since been professionally recorded, and it's on Spotify, and we still sing it today. But it was something that was absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. And one of my personal biggest remembrances of that is stepping up onto this stage where we were going to sing. Now, at the time, our director was in Italy. Robin wasn't able to be with us, so it was our group and down to me. We did some relaxation before we walked up those steps. We hadn't been used to standing in front of microphones, except for one of our group, and he was going to be our lead singer. So he was centre stage, and the rest of us were stood behind microphones. And I just said, look, you know the song, you know the dance routine, which isn't very much. The Queen is sitting there waiting to hear from you. Enjoy what we're doing. So walking up those steps and then looking out at this vast audience of people, because we were going to be the opening part of our local proms in the park, where there were all these professional singers. And it was just absolutely amazing. And the reception that we received. And that, for me, was the highlight of singing Jubilation. The Queen did hear our song because it was taken to her by the Lord Lieutenant of Buckinghamshire, who had also heard the song. And from that, the National Paralympic Heritage Trust and I Have a Voice Too was presented with a tree that made up the tree that was in the grounds of Buckingham Palace during the Queen's Jubilee. And the Lord Lieutenant came and presented the tree, which is planted where many Paralympians have practiced, won, and enjoyed just being there. And on the day that the tree was presented behind the Lord Lieutenant, and her feet were tapping so much. It was absolutely, but that's one of the most amazing things. And I have a voice too. It is for adults respect and enjoy who they are, and acting and singing has given them so much more confidence. And my dream is for I have a voice to be an academy where they can come and learn all sorts of acting and singing, and they can be so much part of it because they do help to write their own scripts. So that's just a little bit about me.
Oh, beautiful. What a lovely success story. Oh boy, you'll never forget that time with the Queen. That is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. That pomp and circumstance, there's just absolutely nothing like that. And to be part of that, I can only imagine. My British roots are going, this is delightful. Someday I'm going to go over there and see those guys. Anyhow,
Oh,
how delightful to share that. Do we have any questions, Megan? We're kind of getting really close to time here. I didn't start the time. I got too involved. Go ahead, Megan. Do you have any questions? Quick,
Thank you.
quickly.
Just want to say thanks to Diane, Jackie, and just I fully understand the inclusivity, the fact that they contribute so much uh, um, when they are involved with the things that everybody allows them to get involved with. And I just absolutely salute you and your team for just hanging in there and just keeping this going. Well done.
Yeah,
And thank you for sharing your story with us.
yeah, beautiful, beautiful, Maria.
I just want to mention just a little bit of Diane's backstory, and just with the word resilience, it will tell you kind of everything. So this is really seems to be the theme for today.
Yeah,
And the wonderful lady that you see before you has the health challenges not only of herself but also of her husband, and the things that has been going on in the background. And I've watched Diane come back from that stroke in an incredible way. I really want to pay tribute to that, and kept going, and nearly fallen over doing things and kept going. You are such an example to so many people.
yeah.
And I'm absolutely thrilled that you're here. So I just really wanted to say that, to just little bit put the other part of, but the woman behind it and the man behind her too, the whole family, where they just is so wonderful. Thank you.
What a beautiful example. What is it, Diane, that you need right now? Because you're continuing on with this academy, this school, whatever you want to call it. And
oh,
what do they
well,
need or
that's
you
what I want
need
to.
right now?
At the moment, we need more volunteers,
Okay.
and somewhere. Okay, we have somewhere that we meet on a Saturday, which is
Mhm.
great and it's free. But to actually look to having, the academy and how it would be, so, there's lots and lots of different aspects to it. to have a permanent building so that it could be split up, that they could learn different skills. So just at the moment, we're actually writing a story about a ghost called the Green Lady, who is in her family lived in a house in the Chilterns, and the ghost of the Green Lady haunts this house and does see, she does get seen every so often, and it's based on, say, a true story. So that's one of the things we're doing at the moment. But it is to be able to have somewhere that they could learn on a daily basis. That is one in Aylesbury, that the other counties and would actually take it on in other countries, so that these people that are, in inverted commas, labelled special needs and learning difficulties can be seen to be able to do many marvellous things. And the confidence they have is brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Beautiful. Yeah. I have some suggestions. I'll tell to you after we're through.
And our very first, you can view, it was our very first time we actually acted it in front of an audience. Dr. Gutman's journey from Germany to Stoke Mandeville is on YouTube. And song Jubilation is on Spotify.
Cool. Lovely, lovely. Well, I'll talk to you later about the Pause for Peace. And Pause for Peace is a 24-hour, 24 time zone presentation of the voice of youth for about 20 minutes each, to go on for 24 hours in 24 time zones. So I think that would be delightful to have you part of that. And it will continue on a channel of its own, so that people from other countries can talk to each other, and other cultures and other children, obviously, or adults with special needs. I don't know that we're we're focusing on youth. Yeah, you're going to have adults in there. So we'll talk about that later. But there are wonderful, wonderful things coming out of what you're saying, Diane, and we're so delighted to be part of listening to that world that you've created. And I'm sure that your whole concept, I have other people in the special needs area that might like to bring that globally. So let's talk about that later as well. I'd like to tell our viewers that we'd love to have you subscribe to the Women Empowered Across the World podcast, and to listen to other women who have journeys that we can learn from, that we can be inspired with. And as Maria says, the words for today are resilience, for sure, and how we can all be part of that resilience to bring each of us up by listening, by your voice. Absolute, that's just it. My voice needs to be heard too. We know that. So thank you so much, Diane, and for the rest of you. And look for more of our episodes on the podcast on our station. And please do subscribe. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
There's no divide.